So this is just a pop gun I saw on the internet. There's not a few videos, but there's not a lot of them that really show how they did it too well. But it's real basic. It's incredibly loud as well. So here's what you do. You just take two plastic bottles. It's got to be something thicker than a milk gallon plastic. I used, as you can see, just these Skull vodkas. They also have them like a tomato juice, but it's a thicker plastic because the heat that's going to build up is going to distort your thinner plastics like water bottles and stuff like that. But basically, so you get two of those, and then what I did is just cut the neck off on one of them here and just slid it inside the other one, and then I passed a bolt through the middle and taped it up. Maybe a little overkill. I didn't want the bottles to have to separate or compromise with the neck point here. And what you want to do is just get two boards, and drill yourself a bunch of 3/4 inch holes, alternating as you go, and then buy some 3/4 inch tube, and then you're basically just going to thread it around. Once you get it going, it'll sort of hold its own form. You don't really have to build anything too extravagant to keep these boards together. You know, I put a screw in the top and bottom of the ends where I could, but really it just sort of holds its own form. The real trick I think I ran into is, before you thread it all, get a propane tank like that one, put it on the end of the line and start filling it up, and then you can ignite it and see how far the flame will go down before it'll ignite. And you'll find that you can only go so far, otherwise you can't get enough pressure built up to push the propane or the MAP gas all the way down the tube. So you want to keep cutting back as you go, and you can kind of figure out the maximum amount of tube you can have before it's too long and you can't get enough pressure built up. And of course, the wider diameter hose you use, the more you'll be able to move through there. So you just have to take that into consideration. I think I was able to work out about 18 feet or so with this 3/4 inch tube before it ran out, and I had to cut it to about that length. The end of it, just drill yourself a hole, and you can actually poke it in. If you make the hole tight enough, you don't have to seal it with any glues or anything. It's pretty airtight as it is, and like I said, you're not building up a lot of pressure because it's all being shot out the end here. But once you've got it all threaded around, you just use, you know, get a MAP gas or a propane tank, and you'd put it right in the end of the tube here. Get something that'll make a nice tight fit. Now, if you're using a torch like this, it'll introduce its own oxygen as it's going, so you'll get the combustion automatically. If you're using one of the older style, it's just a brass head on the top and doesn't mix the air until after the nozzle. And then you're going to have to drill a hole like 6 or 8 inches on this main one, so that as you're putting the gas in, it's also drawing some air in. Otherwise, you're not going to get any oxygen. It's not going to combust. You know, then I just screwed a handle to it and stuff. But, you know, nothing fancy. You can get crazy with it if you want to. But this is just sort of the basic layout of how they do it. And then it's a lot cooler to see at night. I'll see if I can get some night videos on the end here so you can kind of see. I don't know if the phone will pick up the incredible loudness, but you get about once or twice and you'll probably want to put it away.